The man who climbed the sky with bare hands. Alex Honnold's Taipei 101 Challenge. Hello, everyone. Tonight, I have a special story to share with you. When you fall asleep after hearing this story, I'm sure you'll be flying through the sky in your dreams too. This happened just 4 days ago, on Sunday morning, January 25, 2026. In Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. Millions of people around the world held their breath as they witnessed an unbelievable challenge. And the hero of this challenge was a 40-year-old American rock climber named Alex Honnold. Do you find high places scary? Many of you probably feel your legs shaking just going up to the 10th floor of an apartment building. But this man climbed a massive 508-meter, 101-story skyscraper with no ropes. No safety equipment, using only his 2 hands and 2 feet. Can you imagine? If his hand slipped or his foot missed a step, he would fall straight down. No rope to save him, no net to catch him. He climbed relying purely on his own ability. This story isn't simply about a dangerous challenge. It's a story about one person fighting their fear, preparing, and achieving their dream. So, shall we start from the beginning? Alex Honnold was already a world-famous rock climber. In 2017, he climbed a massive rock mountain called El Capitan in Yosemite National Park in California, USA, with his bare hands. That rock mountain is over 900 meters tall. This challenge was made into a documentary film called Free Solo, which even won an Academy Award. Everyone who saw that film was speechless. How could someone do something so dangerous? Is he crazy? But Alex wasn't crazy. He was someone who planned and prepared more thoroughly than anyone else. And he had another dream: to climb one of the world's tallest buildings with his bare hands. Actually, this dream had been around for a very long time. All the way back in 2012, 14 years ago, Alex wanted to climb Taipei 101. At that time, he tried to livestream this challenge with National Geographic. But it was cancelled for various reasons. Years passed after that. Alex continued climbing other mountains, doing climbs in Antarctica, South America, and Greenland. But in one corner of his heart, there was always Taipei 101. Someday, I must climb that building. And finally, in 2025, the opportunity came. Netflix, the world's famous streaming platform, made Alex an offer. Alex, how about climbing Taipei 101 with a live stream? Alex's answer was simple. Sure, let's do it. Have you heard of Taipei 101? This building is truly special. From 2004 to 2010, for a full 6 years, it was the world's tallest building. It's now the 11th tallest building. But it's still one of the most beautiful and iconic buildings in Asia. Its height is 508 meters, 101 floors. Why 101 floors, you ask? It's because Taiwanese people love the number 101. Meaning, everything will get better in the new year, whenever they celebrate. The building's shape is unique too. It looks like bamboo stacked up. It's divided into 8 large sections, with 8 floors in each section. And between each section, there's a balcony-like space. Why was it built this way? Taiwan is a country with many earthquakes and typhoons. So it was specially designed to withstand shaking. Actually, inside the building, there's a giant steel ball, weighing 660 tons hanging. When the building shakes, this ball swings in the opposite direction to maintain balance. Pretty amazing, right? But for Alex Honnold, this unique design was both a blessing and a curse, because each bamboo-shaped section protrudes outward. That means when you encounter this part while climbing, you have to climb upside down, like hanging from a ceiling. Have you ever hung from a pull-up bar? Even hanging for just a few seconds makes your arms hurt, right? Alex had to hang like that several times, at a height of over 500 meters. Still, Alex was full of confidence. He said in an interview, "This building is the perfect challenge for me. It's not too easy, not too hard. It's a perfect challenge I can enjoy." But deep down, he must have felt a bit different. No matter how confident you are, it's a life or death situation. Alex was never a reckless person. Many people misunderstand. They think he's a crazy person who doesn't fear death. But that's not true. Alex is someone who prepares more thoroughly than anyone in the world. Before climbing El Capitan, he went up and down that rock mountain countless times for several years. He practiced with ropes, practiced again and again, repeating until he memorized perfectly where every rock was, where to place his hands. Taipei 101 was the same. Building climbing is very different from natural rock climbing. In mountains, moss grows slowly and rocks weather. But buildings are man-made, so they have regular patterns. Instead, there are new variables like protruding decorations, glass windows, and unpredictable wind. Alex studied Taipei 101's blueprints for months, looking at photos and videos. He visualized in his mind how each floor was structured, where he could place his hands and feet. And he went directly to Taiwan to examine the building. Of course, he couldn't climb it, but he looked and looked from outside. The middle section starting from the 64th floor will be the hardest. Alex predicted this, because that's where the bamboo-shaped boxes protrude. After climbing 8 floors, there's a balcony where you can rest briefly. But until then, you have to keep climbing like hanging from a ceiling. I can't let my arms lose strength. I need to rest as efficiently as possible in between. He also exercised hard. He did training every day to strengthen his finger muscles, arm muscles, and core muscles. But the most important thing was mental preparation. Actually, Alex feels fear too. He just knows how to handle that fear. Fear makes me more focused. If I'm not nervous, that's actually more dangerous. Finally, the day of the challenge arrived. The original plan was Thursday, January 23, 2026. 9 a.m. in Taipei, choosing the time when the weather would be best. Millions of people around the world turned on Netflix and waited. Countless people gathered below Taipei 101 to prepare to cheer. Broadcast cameras were installed all around the building. Alex put on a red short-sleeved t-shirt and finished preparing. He had nothing in his hands. He wasn't wearing gloves either. It's better to feel the building's cold surface with bare hands. He took a deep breath and calmed his mind. But a problem arose. It started to rain. At first, it drizzled just a little bit. This much should be okay, right? Someone might have thought that. But Alex and the Netflix team were different. What's the most dangerous thing in building climbing? It's a slippery surface. Buildings are made of glass and metal. They're already slippery. And when it rains on top of that, it becomes really dangerous. If your hands slip, that's the end. A decision was made. Safety comes first. Today's climb is postponed. Many people were disappointed, especially those who gathered at the Taipei site. But everyone understood. Nothing is more important than life. How was Alex? Actually, he might have felt a bit relieved. No matter how much you prepare, the moment of actual challenge brings enormous pressure. He got time to gather his mind by waiting one more day. A new date was set. The very next day, Saturday, January 24th, at 9 a.m. Checking the weather forecast, Saturday looked like it would be clear. There would be some clouds and a bit of wind, but it was acceptable conditions for climbing. Alex returned to his hotel room to rest. He needed to save energy for tomorrow. That night, what did he think about? Did he not sleep because of anxiety? Alex said in an interview, "I always sleep well, because being anxious doesn't make me any safer. It's better to sleep well and get my body in peak condition." Really cool thinking, right? Sunday morning, January 25, 2026. The sky over Taipei cleared up beautifully. The previous day's rain had completely disappeared, and blue sky spread out. A little past 9 a.m., Alex Honnold stood in front of Taipei 101. Red t-shirt, black pants, and specially made climbing shoes. That was all. Thousands of people gathered below the building. Some were holding cheering banners, some were holding cameras. Even people inside the building stuck messages of support on the windows. "Alex, fighting. You can do it." Millions around the world had turned on Netflix's live stream to watch. Of course, it was broadcast with about a 10-second delay. Just in case of an accident, Alex took a deep breath. And he placed his hands on the building wall. A cold sensation transmitted to his fingertips. "Okay, let's begin." Around 9:15 a.m., the climb started. The first few floors were relatively easy. There were small L-shaped structures protruding from the building's corners. Alex used them as footholds and climbed slowly but surely. 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors. Cheers from people watching below could be heard. But Alex's ears heard nothing. Only the sound of his own breathing, his heartbeat. He was completely focused, thinking only about where the next handhold was, where the next foothold was. 10th floor, 20th floor, 30th floor. The higher Alex climbed, the smaller he looked. From below, he looked like a red dot. Wind started to blow. This was expected. The higher the building, the stronger the wind. Alex pressed his body close to the building, waited for the wind to pass, then climbed again. 40th floor, 50th floor, 60th floor. Now the important section was approaching. The bamboo box section starting from the 64th floor. When he reached the 64th floor, Alex rested briefly on the balcony. He took deep breaths, shook out his arms, opened and closed his fingers. Everything so far had been a warm-up. The real challenge was starting now. Looking ahead, the building wall protruded outward. Like an eave. This means from now on, he had to climb. Not the floor but the ceiling, as if crawling. You've done pull-up exercises in school gym class, right? Pulling your body up with just arm strength. How many can you do? 10 times? 20 times? Alex now had to climb 8 floors height like that. And this is the 64th floor. Over 200 meters from the ground. If he falls, he definitely won't survive. He grabbed the first handhold. He pulled his body up with strength. He also pushed his feet against the wall. 1 step, another step. Strength started entering his arms. Though they were muscles built through regular training, naturally, they get tired when hanging like this continuously. Still 7 floors left. Slowly, efficiently, Alex told himself. Without unnecessary movements, he moved to get maximum effect. With minimum strength. 65th floor, 66th floor, 67th floor. Sweat flowed. But he couldn't let go and wipe it. He just let it flow down as is. His breathing became rough. But he didn't panic. He calmed his mind while breathing regularly. 70th floor, 71st floor. Finally, he arrived at the 72nd floor balcony. Alex stood on the balcony and rested briefly. He shook out his arms, opened and closed his fingers, circulating the blood, and he smiled. I passed through one of the hardest parts. But it wasn't over. There were still 7 more bamboo boxes left. From the 72nd to the 80th floor, the same pattern repeated again. This time, the wind blew even stronger. At this height, wind is really dangerous. You can lose your body's balance. Alex stopped briefly whenever wind blew, and moved quickly. When the wind weakened, arrived at the 80th floor balcony. Arrived at the 88th floor balcony. Arrived at the 96th floor balcony. Now only one last bamboo box remained. It took about 1 hour and 20 minutes to get here. Alex was exhausted. His arms were pumped, the phenomenon where lactic acid builds up in muscles, making them stiff, and his fingers hurt too. But he couldn't give up. Just a little more, just a little more. When he arrived at the 100th floor balcony, Alex looked down for the first time. It was dizzying. People looked as small as ants. Cars looked like toys too. But he wasn't scared. It was already a familiar view. Now it's the last stretch. From the 100th floor, the building's shape changes. It's no longer bamboo boxes, but becomes a narrow, pointed spire shape. In some ways, this was easier. He could climb vertically again. He didn't have to hang upside down. But there was a different difficulty. The wind blew much stronger. At this height, there's nothing to block the wind. It just blows fiercely. Alex moved even more carefully. Step by step, placing his feet firmly and climbing. 101st floor. The end of the building. But it's not the real end. On top of the building, a huge spire rises. You have to climb to this spire to reach the real summit. The spire was made of metal. It had a different feel from the building wall. Cold and smooth. Alex squeezed out his last strength and climbed. Hand, foot, hand, foot. He moved rhythmically like a machine. And finally, 10:47 a.m. Alex Honnold's hand grabbed the very top of Taipei 101. He stood on top of the spire. The wind blew fiercely, but now it was okay. There was nowhere higher to climb. Alex raised both arms high. Yahoo! His shout spread on the wind. Thousands of people below cheered. Applause and cheers rang out high into the sky. Millions watching from around the world cheered together too. Some people shed tears, some clenched their fists. He did it. Alex Honnold did it. Total time 1 hour 31 minutes 43 seconds. He climbed a 508-meter, 101-story skyscraper with his bare hands. Chapter 8 Moments at the Summit. Alex looked around for a moment from the top of the spire. Downtown Taipei came into view. Buildings, roads, mountains, and the sea visible in the distance. Wow, it's really beautiful. The wind blew hard. Really hard. The spire seemed to be shaking. I can't fall. I need to be careful. Alex balanced himself and moved carefully. And he took out his mobile phone from his pocket. Yes, he brought his phone while climbing. He took a selfie. A photo taken against the blue sky, looking down at downtown Taipei. This photo will probably go down in history. Because it captures a moment of humanity's amazing achievement. And shortly after, Alex had to go down. When going up, he climbed with bare hands. But when going down, he used safety equipment. He wore a harness safety belt and attached a rope. Because going down is more dangerous. When going up, you can see the next handhold. But when going down, you can't see the foothold. Alex came down slowly on the rope. He came down to the stages in between, rested briefly, and went down again, repeating this. And for most of the distance, he took the elevator. Yes, that's right. Going up took 1 hour and 30 minutes, but coming down. He took the elevator and came down in just a few minutes. When he arrived on the first floor, his wife was waiting. The two hugged tightly. His wife's eyes were full of tears. "I'm so glad you're safe." Alex also answered with a smile. "I think so too. Many people are curious. Why on earth does he do such dangerous things? Does he get paid a lot of money? Does he want to be famous?" Actually, the money Alex received for this climb wasn't as much as you'd think. According to the New York Times, it was mid-six figures. So probably around $500,000 to $600,000? About 700 million Korean won. Does that seem like a lot? But for something risking your life, it's not much money. Famous soccer players or basketball players get paid much more. Alex himself said in an interview, "Money isn't important. Actually, even if I wasn't paid, if the building manager just gave permission, I would have done this challenge. Because I know I can do it, and I know it's a cool thing to do." Then what's the real reason? Alex explained it this way. "Since I was young, I've loved climbing high places. It feels good. That feeling when you reach the summit, how should I explain it? The feeling of being alive? The feeling that I've done something special?" For Alex, climbing isn't simply exercise. It's art, it's meditation, it's life itself. When he climbs, he's completely focused. He doesn't think about the past or the future. Only this moment, the next handhold, the next foothold. In that moment, all other worries disappear. Work stress, relationship concerns, nothing matters. Only this action I'm doing right now matters. In some ways, it's similar to meditation. Being completely focused on the present. And Alex likes exceeding his own limits. People often ask, "Aren't you scared?" Of course I'm scared. But overcoming that fear is exactly what I pursue. Without fear, there's no growth. Really profound words, right? We also feel many fears in life. Exams are scary, presentations are scary. Meeting new people is scary, failing is scary. But as Alex has shown, when we face and overcome that fear, we can grow. Of course, we don't need to climb buildings like Alex. Because each of us has our own Taipei 101. For some, standing on stage might be Taipei 101 for some. Starting a new challenge might be Taipei 101. The important thing is to prepare thoroughly, focus, and not give up. After Alex's successful challenge, the whole world was buzzing. The news covered this story day after day. Where are the limits of humanity? The birth of a modern superhero. The man who made the impossible possible. Millions of posts appeared on social media. Wow, this is really crazy. So cool. I get scared even going up to the 3rd floor. This person is really amazing. Respect. Of course, there were also worried voices. Isn't this too dangerous? What if there had been an accident? Is it good to show this kind of thing on live stream? That's a fair point. It was definitely a dangerous challenge. But Alex answered this way. I prepared thoroughly. It's not a reckless challenge. I did it because I judged I could do it safely within my abilities. Of course there's risk, but there's risk in everything in life. Crossing the street is risky, riding in a car is risky. The important thing is managing that risk. Taiwanese people were especially proud. Taipei 101 is a symbol of Taiwan. They were proud that such a historic event happened at that building. The Taiwanese government even awarded Alex a certificate of appreciation. Thank you for introducing Taipei to the whole world. The climbing world recorded this challenge as a historic moment. Many people have climbed buildings before. A French person named Alain Robert, called the French Spider-Man, is someone who has climbed skyscrapers all over the world. He also climbed Malaysia's Petronas Twin Towers in 2009. But Alex's challenge this time was special. First, Taipei 101 was the tallest among all urban building climbs ever. Second, it was live-streamed to the whole world. Millions watched in real time. Third, Alex's fame added to it and received even more attention. Now Alex Honnold has become a true legend. Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening to this long story. As we finish the story, shall we think about what we can learn from Alex Honnold's challenge? First, the importance of preparation. Alex never challenged recklessly. He planned, researched, and trained for years. We too need to prepare thoroughly when challenging something. Whether taking an exam, giving a presentation, or starting something new, preparation is essential. Second, the power of focus. Alex was completely focused for the 1 hour and 30 minutes of climbing. He didn't think about anything else. When we do something, if we really focus, we can produce better results too. These days, with smartphones and SNS, it's hard to focus. But when doing really important things, try turning everything off and focusing. Third, facing fear. Alex feels fear too. But he didn't avoid it, he faced it. When we have something scary, how about trying to challenge it instead of running away? Of course, we should avoid dangerous things. But we don't need to give up everything just because we're afraid. Fourth, going your own way. People asked Alex, "Why do you do dangerous things?" But Alex did what he loved. We too, no matter what others say, should find and do what we truly love and are good at. Fifth, moving forward one step at a time. Taipei 101 is 508 meters. An enormous height. But Alex didn't try to climb 508 meters all at once. He went step by step, floor by floor. Our goals are like that too. No matter how big the goal, if we move forward, one step at a time, we can reach it someday. Sixth, the importance of safety. On the first attempt, it was postponed because of rain, right? This was a really wise decision. No matter how important something is, safety is the top priority. When we do something, we shouldn't overdo it, and should think of safety first. 7th, not giving up on dreams. Alex wanted to climb Taipei 101 since 2012. It took 14 years, but he finally did it. If we have dreams too, let's not give up and keep trying. Someday we can achieve them. Okay, now it's really time to finish the story. Today we heard the story of an amazing person named Alex Honnold. He climbed a 508-meter, 101-story building with his bare hands. With no ropes, no safety equipment. 1 hour 31 minutes 43 seconds of challenge. During that time, he fought fear, overcame his body's limits, and finally reached the summit. This story tells us, humans are truly amazing beings. We can do things that seem impossible. Of course, we don't all need to climb buildings. But each of us has our own Taipei 101. For some, a school exam might be Taipei 101. For some, making new friends might be Taipei 101. For some, singing on stage might be Taipei 101. The important thing is to challenge. Prepare, focus, and move forward one step at a time. And someday, you too will stand on your own summit. Then you can raise both arms like Alex and shout, "I did it." Tonight, before you fall asleep, remember this story. And dream. A dream of flying high. A dream of challenging without fear. A dream of making the impossible possible. You can do it too. Just as Alex Honnold showed us. Now, rest comfortably. Tomorrow, a new day will begin again. And in that day too, you'll have your own small challenge. Enjoy that challenge.